You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Good evening. It is September 19th, 2015, and it is another episode of the Impact Implosion. It's been a long time, but as always, I am Seth Draken, and on the other end is Mike Poland.
You can call us McDonald's, but tonight we are supersized.
Yes, 4 episodes. What we're going to really cover 3 of them. We'll gloss over the first one because Mike didn't see it.
Yeah.
And really, I'll just spoil it right now. It got an F.
Yeah.
It was bad. So, all right. Matt Hardy came out first, basically was wanting Matt for champ, despite the fact he has never earned a title match.
And he lost in a ladder match.
Yeah, he lost fair and square in a ladder match, but he wants another shot without earning it. Jeff comes out. Jeff is also out to say the same thing. So EC3 comes out saying, "You are a groveler here," and he's like. And so the fans are chanting Matt for champ, and he's like, okay, you win, but one stipulation. If I win, Jeff must become my own personal assistant. And he says, you'll be washing my car and cooking my meals for me. So he leaves Matt with the take it or leave it. So after that, we had EY versus Sarge and Chris Melendez in a match where if EY wins, he gets Melendez's leg. EY wins with a roll-up and his feet on the ropes.
Oh, he got a leg up on the competition.
Yep, he's got his leg. X Division title match, triple threat match, Tigre Uno versus Zema Ion and GFW's Sanjay Dutt.
I did see this. This was okay. I like this.
Yeah, Tigre Uno won via a pinfall with his new finisher, a springboard frog splash, because that last one sucks. Last finisher, he hits 50% of the time.
Yep, the big moonsault.
James Storm screams at Abyss and Manic about it's all about getting the gold tonight, and gets into Manic's face that he will cut him down if he ever does Mahabali Shira's dance again. So Wolves defend against Manic and Abyss. The Wolves retain.
What is Shira's dance? Anything like the Emma dance? Because that would be worse.
No, it is basically, you fold your arms over and you just put one
it's like
shoulder
the Macarena.
up. What?
I said it's like the Macarena.
Well, kind of, but you just keep your arms here and just move one shoulder. That's it.
Yep.
It's pretty. So Hardy's come out. They accept the stipulation. Then we have Velvet Sky versus Brooke for the Knockouts title.
Who cares?
Do you really think this match was going to be any good?
I like Brooke, but Velvet's not good.
No. Brooke wins via DQ.
Pretty much a setup for the reformation of the Beautiful People, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Well, actually, Brooke wins via DQ because the Dollhouse came in and attacked Velvet. Rebel came out and turned on Velvet and became part of the Dollhouse, even though last we saw Rebel, she was beaten up and taken out by the Dollhouse backstage.
This is going to be a problem with this Beautiful People Dollhouse feud. All of them were feuding like 2 months ago.
Well, I got some good bet. I guess we should get into some news first. Or after this episode, we should get into some news. Then our main event was the number one contender. Main event match was number one contendership for the King of the Mountain title. Bobby Roode takes on Franklin, versus James Storm versus Anderson.
I did see this. This was also pretty okay.
Yeah, this was okay. Bobby Roode won, beating James Storm. Josh reveals that the 3 finalists all won, so a tie, so we get all 3 of them on the calendar for the Knockouts calendar. They get the cover. So
nobody will buy it. I won't.
EC3
ridiculous shipping fees.
EC3 says after he beats Matt Hardy fair and square, he doesn't want to hear any more whining. So he welcomes Jeff to Team EC3. He can't wait to have him as his personal assistant. This hasn't happened yet, but
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that next week. But Dixie comes out, basically about to accept Jeff Jarrett's offer, but Drew Galloway comes out because earlier the plot fairy called. The plot convenience fairy called and told him that
it was Karen who did it.
That the cars, both cars that attacked Bully Ray and Drew Galloway, even though they were near the parking lot, I believe, were registered under Jarrett. So he bugs Jarrett about it.
The car says Jarrett, but the name on the car says Karen Jarrett.
So yeah, Karen comes out, says she was involved, said, Jeff, I did what was best. So Jeff thinks about it. Low blows, Drew Galloway, GFW roster comes out, and Jeff says, man's got to do what a man's got to do. The end.
He goes with his wife who freaking committed arson, or vehicular assault. That's good. That's a good plot device.
So yeah, that's the end of the feud. GFW guys stand over Dixie looking in shock, like, oh my God, this happened to me!
Okay. I made my mistakes.
I know where to run.
Signed with Jeff Jarrett and moved on.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, let's get into some news.
Kenny King showed up at the ROH pay-per-view last night.
Which means he's done with TNA.
Good. I haven't got that one because he hasn't, other than the match with Bram that we'll talk about in a few minutes. He hasn't been on in like 2 months.
Also done with TNA, although he's going to appear at a couple of house shows, Kurt Angle. He will not be resigning.
He's going to be at Bound for Glory.
What?
He's going to be at Bound for Glory.
Oh, yeah, well, he may be, but he won't be resigning with the company when his contract expires.
Oh, good, a Royal Rumble return.
Well, he's taking time off. Also, Bram.
Got that over the years.
Bram's suspended because he beat up his girlfriend. Now, if you're wondering,
I wonder if Charlotte bleed like her dad.
It was not Charlotte at all. They had legally separated. We just learned, so it's another girlfriend he was sleeping with, and he decided to grab her throat, and police had to call in.
Oh, so Bram's taken after his former father, former girlfriend's father.
Yep. And Dixie Carter was on had an article on Sports Illustrated, basically revealing that they have been able to get a reprieve from Destination America and will be probably canceled in January.
But they're not taping any more shows and they don't have any more taping scheduled.
At the end of January will be the end of the deal. So here's what she said on the status of Destination America. The biggest challenge for us is building a brand in the U.S. That's where we need to grow.
No, really?
We're contracted to Destination America through the end of the year, and we are in discussions going on for 2016. On TNA's future, TNA will continue to exist and on a level that far exceeds what we're currently doing. I'm looking ahead 5 years down the road, not a year down the road. On TNA creating competition and WWE. Besides WWE, we're the only global promotion in the world. We're in 120 countries worldwide and in languages. We made a conscious decision about 3 years ago to take a step back and focus on young talent. We've had some of the biggest names ever on our show. People have given us a hard time about using WWE talent, but after a hot run with us, almost every one of them has worked with WWE again. That is a huge compliment to us.
Hogan's run was a hot run.
I do feel that we've taken some unfair blows. Competition, no matter who it is healthy. It's absolutely imperative for the industry to grow. There is a reason why there's a Lowe on the corner of every Home Depot and a Walgreens across every CVS. It's important for the industry. By the way, where I live, there's no Walgreens. There are several CVS's, but no Walgreens.
I've never seen a Walgreens.
Yeah.
At least not where I live.
So, there's that. I'm looking to remember what else was. TNA losing more international deals. Germany and Austria canceled them.
And yet they still have a deal with Destination America through the winter.
Yeah. Madison Rayne and Josh Matthews got married.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know they were together.
Yep. And you might remember you were talking about that Beautiful People reunion that we're going to mention. Well, it's going to end already. Angelina Love got knocked up.
Oh, boy.
It's Davey Richards.
Oh, that kid will be very angry. I don't know.
Yes.
Hopefully that kid takes after his mother. That kid's a girl and doesn't take after her father.
Yes. So that is all the news. So yeah, let's get to the first of the three we've both seen, which is the EC3 versus Hardy one. But we open up the show with Jeff Jarrett of NGFW.
Dixie, you took my company from me.
It's going to be a corporate takeover.
Or is that the second one from the second episode?
Well, this is the first episode you watched. He talked. This is the one. Let me get to it on my notes, because I do have notes here. God damn. I watched this one on demand because I actually missed it when it originally aired, and I did not DVR it, sadly. So, yeah. Jeff Jarrett, Josh wants Jarrett kicked out of the TNA Hall of Fame.
Yeah, kicked out of a bullshit Hall of Fame. That's fine.
He also thinks these GFW
TNA Hall of Fame, Earl Hebner's going in.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Earl Hebner's going in the TNA Hall of Fame.
Just to make it even less legit.
Yeah, so Josh thinks these GFW guys should not be allowed in here. You know, TNA can do that. Hell, Hogan did that with Aces and Eights, if anyone remembers. In fact, Aces and Eights had to win a match to get access to the Impact Zone.
That's right.
Sadly,
that's the most awkward storyline plot device ever.
And then Karen Raptor spoke. I was too busy.
But you should never speak.
Saying she called Chris Mordetsky to get the job done.
The Adonis.
Yep. And after that, I closed my ears. So Jeff says he's beginning a corporate hostile takeover.
Voice, her or Vicky Guerrero?
I hate to say this, but I think Vicky was better. Except when Vicky yelled. Yep. Vicky yelled, it was worse, but Karen Jarrett overall is bad. Chris Mordetsky is issuing an open challenge, and Franklin accepts. And Pope's like, well, he has a reason. He has ownership stake. He has a reason to be here. And I'm like, no. Remember when Mick Foley had ownership, and Hulk Hogan said, you don't have majority ownership, so I can kick you out of the building. Not allow you in here.
What
Same with Jeff Jarrett.
Does that even matter? Majority ownership.
Well, majority ownership means you get to make the decisions that matter.
The company isn't publicly traded.
That's what I mean by, if you have majority ownership, you make the decisions. And you can outvote anyone else, any of the minority ownerships, because you have more than 50%.
Anyway.
So
I just proved I know nothing about business in any event.
Josh tried to say Destination Impact is not trending, and it wasn't on Wednesday, because there was something else going on that Wednesday that I completely forget about.
The debates.
Ah, yes, the Republican debates. The one from Fox News.
I think this past week was a Democratic one.
No, this past week we had another Republican one on CNN. GFW piggybacking.
Other than Trump.
I know all the people running, but we're not going to get into that.
GFW for another time.
GFW piggybacking on TNA. Dumb move for GFW. TNA will be gone in a month. Boy, was I wrong. Lashley's about to win. GFW interferes, causing a DQ, and here comes the Wolves. And they get their asses kicked. TNA, you may need more guys. Hello?
And then we set up a match.
Hello? Because here's the thing. Karen Raptor has a briefcase. And it turns out Magnus, who's only going to be mentioned by name and last we saw was a face, turned heel behind the scenes, joined GFW, and gave them the Feast or Fire tag team title briefcase. Seriously, Magnus should have been the leader of this invasion, but I guess considering how much he hates TNA, Nope. Yeah, so Earl Hebner refuses to cash in, but he gets punched by Jarrett. So the GFW guys have Stifler do the cash in. And how is this freaking legal? How is this freaking legal? I guess anyone can grab the briefcase. I mean, I guess a fan can steal a TNA briefcase and just say, I'm cashing this in. So, considering the Wolves got beat down, there shouldn't be any reason there should be this much of a match. Seriously. Because guess even in cash-ins, GFW has trouble getting the job done. So, despite beating up on the Wolves for a while before cashing in, it took Myers and Lee distractions and a briefcase shot to the head to win the belt.
Worst Money in the Bank cash-in ever.
Yeah, why is GFW a threat again? So Bobby Roode's asked, and he doesn't care about the chaos because he is tired of being overlooked. So JB interviews EC3. So, yes, EC3 says, growing up, he said, Hardy Boy, I used to love the Hardy Boys mysteries, although he never read them because he thought the names were stupid. And he said, so apparently,
how can it love something you never read?
I don't know, promises and stuff. And I was like, so apparently, yes, I was basically going on this TNA, this Magnus thing that gave them a briefcase and they were allowed to use it. So by that logic, I was given a napkin by EC3 and promised a title shot on the napkin, and it's legit.
Yep.
I'm kidding, of course. I have no napkin from EC3.
But that's still bad logic.
By the way, after EC3's little interview, Dixie Carter arrives at this show. Seriously.
An hour late?
Yes. So Bobby Roode cuts a promo. He says, Black look around the arena because they're in TNA. I'm a TNA guy, and even a TNA original. So everything.
And all of a sudden, he's a babyface.
Yep. So he doesn't know what the hell is going on here with this Global Force wrestling crap, but PJ needs to know he's going to kick his ass out of this house. So we have that match. Pretty good.
Yeah, I like this match.
Yeah. So, one, why is it called the King of the Mountain title if it can be defended in regular matches?
Well, wasn't the $1 million title defended in regular matches at some point?
But there's no $1 million match. There's no such thing as a $1 million match. There's such a thing as a King of the Mountain match.
Plot holes.
Josh felt the need to mention that this can be defended in regular matches here and not beforehand, like when the belt was put on the line beforehand. So, yeah, Roode bomb and Roode wins the King of the Mountain title. GFW continues to fail in this evasion. They come out to try to get the belt back, but Roode gets the hell out of there.
Escapes.
And
Bobby Roode, you get back here and give me back
my belt, because the hostile takeover and all.
Does Dixie Carter not know there's a hostile takeover?
Yeah, Dixie comes down and says, you know what? Unlike you, I'm willing to admit my mistakes. Not always, Dixie. Not even close.
Or else Hogan wouldn't have been in the company for 3 years.
No. And thanks, it says, you know what? I'll put my majority shares, and I'm like, yeah, you have the majority shares.
AJ Styles will still be in the company.
Majority shares you have, you can kick him out. So anyway, her majority shares against his minority shares, so one person can roll the company.
Uh-huh.
And Josh mentions his marriage, but fails to mention who he got married to.
That blonde woman.
No, actually, she's brunette. She's been redhead for a while now.
Oh, Davey Rich is married to blonde.
Yeah. So Dixie's like, what team do you have? And Drew Galloway comes out with the Wolves and Franklin, and they all say this is the
TNA Job Squad.
So Jeff
was
says,
there a 6-man tag somewhere in this show? Or is that the next show?
Probably is the next show. But anyway, Kenny King comes out.
Yeah, this will be King's last appearance, by the way.
Second to last. He comes out as a babyface.
Why not?
And calls
he
himself
been on the
Pretty
show
Boy
in like 3 months.
And calls out someone, and it's Bram.
And he gets beat.
He gets beat pretty quickly, and considering this was the week that Bram officially got arrested, bad move, TNA. Bad move putting this on.
Well, you're going to put over the guy that was going to be arrested or the guy that's going to end up bailing on your company anyway. Either way would have been a bad move in hindsight.
Well, they didn't know Kenny King was going to bail out in their company. I don't know what they knew, but...
At least not at the time they were taping.
Yeah. So, in the back, JBU interviews the Hardy Boys. Jeff says he agreed to the match because he believes in family. It's all about family.
You remember when Matt took a chair and smashed it over your head?
Yeah.
Tried to kill you and run you off the road?
And he says, EC3 is afraid of Matt. And I'm like, EC3 isn't afraid of you. You should have been able to earn your rematch, but you weaseled your way into one. So, Velvet Sky comes out.
And she wants to fight all three in the dollhouse, because that's a good idea.
And the dollhouse comes out, and they beat her up for a little while. And then Madison Rayne and Angelina come out to save the day, and we get a reunion of the beautiful people. Ugh.
All of these women were feuding with each other 3 months ago.
Yes. So
this story makes no sense.
It's announced that Team TNA versus GFW and Lethal Lockdown will happen in 2 weeks.
And not the week after.
So, main event time. EC3 versus one more match, Matt Hardy. One
Turn into TNA's version of Christian.
Huh?
Oh, I needed one more match.
Yes. So he's like, EC3 beat Matt Hardy. Josh points out that EC3 beat Matt Hardy, and I was like, well, it's under different circumstances now. And I'm like, it wasn't.
Doesn't
when
matter.
He
He still beat him.
Ref falls down, twist of fate, no ref. EC3 with a title shot before the ref is revived, only gets a 2 count. Jeff cheap shots EC3 into a schoolboy 2 count. EC3 with a low blow and a roll up to retain the title. Jeff is now EC3's personal assistant because Matt failed. EC3 tells Jeff to raise his hand. Well, Jeff, you made your bed, and now you have to lie in it.
Next week.
This was a freaking F.
We're batting 0 for 2.
Yes. This show sucked.
Next.
Let me get to it, because I had a bunch of other notes talking about. Damn, hold on. All right, DVR Impact. All right, EC3 comes out. He's preparing to bring out his new personal assistant, Jeff Hardy, and he talks about this whole invasion. GFW one side, and I couldn't give a crap. And I'm like, it's good for you, EC3. You tried to warn Dixie a while ago about this. She didn't listen. So why the hell are you going to bail her out? So here comes Jeff Hardy to his music, and EC3's like, you're a personal assistant, you get no music.
I did like that part.
I did too. Especially since I hate Jeff's music. So
only if it's the music he had when he was an Immortal.
And he forces Jeff to get him some water. He drinks some of it, and then says, this is 72 degrees, man. Not 73
degrees. I wanted 72 degrees.
No, he said, yeah, this is 73 degrees. I wanted 72. So as he throws it on Jeff, spills, and then he gives him a $13,000 head on a stick.
Why would you pay that much for a head on a stick?
I have no freaking idea. So,
what it would be like to have money to blow.
We also find out Jeff's middle name is Nero, which is fitting considering the Roman Emperor, what the Roman Emperor was doing as Rome burned, playing his fiddle.
No, I think I mentioned that one time.
Yeah.
Definitely Nero Hardy.
Yeah. Time for the tag match between EC3 and Tyrus versus Matt Hardy and Rockstar Spud. Ugh. And next week will be the end of this stupid-ass invasion fitting that this invasion would last 1 month. Cyrus doesn't seem to be doing...
Probably the best thing, although I think it should have been gone no Bound for Glory, but you know.
Okay, anytime Tyrus is in the ring, he doesn't seem to be trying anymore.
He's just cashing a check, a very small check.
EC3 tells Jeff Hardy to hit Spud with a chair, even though if he did this, they would get DQ'd. But Jeff says no. Anyways.
And the heels win anyway.
EC3 win, Tyrus pins Spud. Tyrus should not be pinning anyone.
Who cares? Next.
So Taryn's backstage, and she's demanding her minions take out the beautiful people, which I'm glad Taryn's out of that dollhouse room.
Wait, they're her minions? So which one's Stuart, which one's Bob, and which one's Kevin?
I don't know. But anyways, dollhouse and beautiful people get into a fight, and Angelina Love gets beaten up.
No, Max and Rain got beat up.
No, Angelina Love did, so they got her Angelina Love got taken out because of her pregnancy.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Hopefully she didn't wrestle pregnant.
Oh, of course. Yeah, we can't have her wrestling pregnant. So, Karen Jarrett's word of caution. Jeff Jarrett guarantees that GFW will win, giving him 100% control of the company. He demands Bobby Roode return the title because it was his title. Jeff, you gave that up and your guy lost. No takebacks.
This is not Indian giving. You know?
Yes. So anything, Jeff, you should be yelling at your GFW guys to go get the belt back. So Bobby Roode says, no, I'm not giving you the belt back. Come and get it. And Jeff's like, no, you give it to me. And Karen's like, look, both of you are acting like children here. Yes, Karen Jarrett is admonishing people for acting like children. So she tells...
I'm a mother. I know children, and you are acting like children.
Yes, so Karen tells Bobby Roode that, if GFW wins, when GFW wins, you might want to give him his belt back.
Yep.
So just be nice. And she says, TNA is outnumbered. They are outnumbered. And I am like, dude, GFW is not outnumbered by the entire roster. Dear fucking God.
TNA is outnumbered by GFW.
So, backstage, we find out Kenny King is a heel again as he's joined up with He-Drake and who's the other guy? Oh, yeah, the Adonis, Jesse Godders. So, it's now He-Drake and the Goobers of the Universe.
He-Drake?
Yeah. You remember Eli Drake with that stupid thing he's got on his, he wears ring?
He's He-Man.
Yeah, he looks like He-Man with that stupid thing. So I call him He-Drake.
So who's Kira in this mix?
I don't know.
Jesse Godders?
I don't know. One of them's Man-at-Arms and the other's Ram Man.
Mm-hmm.
Tila's at home in the kitchen, I guess.
What knockout could we get to beat Tila?
I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Kenny King left the company after this match. So EC3's yelling at Jeff for not hitting Spud, and it's making him sell EC3 merchandise.
Oh, that might be the only way it's going to sell, because he's a heel and they're not supposed to sell merchandise.
Well, they do have EC3 merchandise, so it does exist. So Jeff's going to have...
There's trouble on it.
So, by the way, it's now the Goobers of the Universe versus Robbie E., Tigre Uno, and Micah, because they support Team TNA, while the Goobers of the Universe don't give a shit.
The Jobbers of the Month.
Yep, the Goobers of the Universe lose. And as Pope now, we got to talk about Pope's new moronic moments, because, seriously, he calls a suplex a souffle.
No, that's what you're supposed to call it. That's the proper pronunciation.
No, you're supposed to call it a souffle, not a souffle. As in the freaking French dessert.
You do a suplex while you're making a souffle, and that's not coming out right.
I know. So, Pope, it's a souffle or suplex, not a souffle. That's his new thing, is calling it a souffle. And every time, I'm going to bust on him for this. Eli Drake screwed up there with him not being able to go in the top ropes without getting his feet caught in the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
So Robbie E. pinned Jesse Goddard, although I don't know who was the legal man, and even the announcers gave up.
Who cares?
So, by the way, you would think the champion, the one who has a title belt, would get the pin, but no, we need to give it to Robbie E.
And the feud that ended already.
Yeah. So, Knockouts title matches next. Brooke defends her belt against the Kabuki Taker, Gail Kim. And this was a pretty damn good match.
Brooke's not terrible when she's got someone good to work with.
I know. But, Brooke's been an afterthought since she won this title. And it's as if they're making her a transitional champion. But no, TNA wouldn't be that stupid. After they hyped her up for her big win over the longest reigning Knockouts champion.
And we get interference.
Well, actually, first we had a Gail Kim just threatened to do a tombstone after Brooke tried her Hurricanrana. But I thought I was joking on Kabuki Taker. And they both trade interesting submission moves. And then fucking GFW shows up. Isn't Lady Tapa?
Lady Crappa.
What?
I said Lady Crappa.
Why do you call her that?
She's terrible.
Like the clap?
No, I said Crappa.
Oh, Crappa. Oh, okay. Crappa. My bad. I would like to apologize for anyone who offended by calling her considerate to the clap. Venereal disease. My bad.
And her Sakamoto.
Anyway, she basically celebrates with the belt even though she hasn't won it. Brooke could just pin Gail Kim here, but no, she has to go on the outside and attack Tapa, and then Tapa eventually hits her with the belt. Bullshit finish to an otherwise good match. Tapa's now beating up Gail. Here comes Awesome Kong.
And the four-way.
Kong no-sells a body slam. And then Kong beats up Tapa and raises the title in the air, even though it isn't hers. Scott D'Amore and Jeff Jarrett give a pep talk to the GFW guys.
Holy crap, Scott D'Amore's alive.
Yes, he's part of GFW. So Jeff Hardy...
If I want anyone giving me a pep talk, it's him.
So Jeff Hardy's talking to Drew Galloway about wanting to help TNA, but EC3 says, nope.
Not
we ain't helping.
We have dinner reservations.
So clean my gear. Oh, and good luck, Drew, on losing my aunt's company.
EC3, and Jeff Hardy is EC3's Virgil.
Yep. So anyway, tag team title match. The Wolves get their tag title match immediately. Sanjay Dutt attacks the ref to screw the Wolves, but gets knocked out by an old Earl Hebner. Poor Sanjay. Poor Sanjay.
Even worse, we had to sell that.
So, and after that, after a week of getting screwed in the tag...
Out, or Linda McMahon knocking Stephanie on her ass at that one pay-per-view in 2000.
So, just a week after getting screwed out of the tag titles, the Wolves win them back pretty easily. This whole cash-in was pointless. So, now it's Chris Melendez on crutches, wanting to face EC3. Sarge is easily becoming the Black Knight.
EY.
Oh, yeah, he wants EY. So Sarge is easily becoming the Black Knight from the Monty Python.
I hate to say it, but I know they're trying to go for sympathy here, but I feel no sympathy for Sarge.
No, he put his leg on the line. He keeps wanting to fight EY. Move on. There are other opponents.
Probably one that you're actually capable of beating.
Yeah, you can earn your way back to facing EY in another match. It'll happen.
You got a pay-per-view in a few weeks. It'll probably happen there.
EY comes out with a leg as if it's a title belt. And EY says,
Leg Championship.
You know what? I'm feeling good. I'm going to give you another match because I'm going to be taking your career next. And then offers him the leg before tripping him up.
Yep.
And then Gut Check 2015 is announced, on a commercial. Someone on Facebook spoiled who won, even though they kind of spoiled it themselves with the taping, and TNA gave them shit for it.
You taped this show 7 months ago. And it doesn't matter.
And Micah has been on TV for a while now, so
has one of the losers, Eli.
Yes, so by the way, was given shit about doing this. They have given him shit about doing this. Saying who won.
Maybe, how about you not wait 7 months before you actually air it?
Yeah.
Or make it an actual Impact episode so it would have made sense.
So, Josh is in the booth interviewing Shira. And funny thing here is, even though English is not Shira's first language, he cuts a better promo than Melendez.
Probably about as equal to that as maybe Kali.
No. He speaks pretty good English, and he says, I'm going to kick James Storm. James Storm is a bad man, and I'm going to return to prove that he is a man unafraid.
And I'm going to go through all the Revolution to do it.
So then it's announced that the 4-way Knockouts Championship match between Brooke, Awesome Kong, Gail Kim, and Lady Tapa, TNA, where somehow you can get a title shot even though you're not part of the company.
But it's also the same week they're doing the frickin' Lethal Lockdown thing, so kind of.
Yes, so anyway, Jeff doesn't even run the company, so after their last match, why would Kong and Tapa be deserving of a title match? This is so stupid in so many ways. TNA is becoming the Oakland Raiders of wrestling, and New York Jets drafting room of wrestling. So main event time, Drew Galloway faces Chris Mordetsky in a lumberjack match for the man advantage.
Superstars main event match.
And Drew definitely seems to have the passion that WWE sorely misused.
Yep.
And Sanjay is part of Team GFW even after getting KO'd by Earl Hebner. If I were the captain, I would have kicked him off the team.
You get knocked out by a 70-year-old man, you're off the team.
Yeah, and I spoke to Yu-Gi-Oh, the guy who does the marker mark, and said, dude, there's a lumberjack match between two ex-WWE guys. That's your favorite match, a lumberjack match, right? So there's a point in the lumberjack match where the lumberjacks don't throw either guy in the ring and they're on the outside fighting each other. So the lumberjacks did fuck all. So
worst lumberjack match ever.
Future Shock DDT. Drew refuses to go for the pin, and this allows the GFW guys to grab him and on the outside attack him.
Eric Young comes out.
Jeff Jarrett's about to hit Drew with a guitar. Eric comes out, grabs the guitar, and he hits Drew. EY is with GFW.
Overly long stare down of who do I hit, and he hits Drew.
Yeah, you could predict this. Chris Mordetsky wins, even though there are guitar pieces on the ground.
Who was the referee here? Does anybody know?
Nope.
It wasn't Pearl, was it?
I don't know, but seriously, there are guitar pieces on the ground. You could easily say, dude, look at all these pieces.
Mm-hmm.
One man's down.
Terrible booking.
Yes. So GFW hasn't won a single match in this invasion without controversy. But unlike the last two shows,
WWE's invasion was better booked.
Yes, even though it had more potential and they screwed up.
Right.
This show gets a D+ because the GFW stuff ruins what could be an all right show.
Right.
It really was for 30 minutes really good show.
Do we
for 30
have
minutes.
Any news coming out of that show?
No, I've covered all the news.
Oh, so let's get into Lethal Lockdown.
Let's get into the final show. It's the final count show.
Showdown.
Showdown. Yep, Showdown. Better than my idea. So, when we get to this, we got the Lethal Lockdown montage of this whole feud. Missed something from last week, and I forgot to mention Josh and his Twitter thing. Last week, the week before that, This Nation America did trend on the day it aired, that hashtag, and Josh never mentioned it. So the
one time it was trending, he forgets.
Yes, the one time he doesn't. So he's a bizarro WWE commentator. I say it trends when it doesn't trend. It's trending, and I don't say anything.
You're an idiot.
Time for the Lethal Lockdown contract signing. Davey tries to cut something nice, but the crowd cheers are freaking muting his ass. And he introduces...
The problem with this is that if this angle had more time to play out, you could have done the contract signing saying, this is happening at Bound for Glory.
Yeah, I know, but nope. Well, actually, we'll have one more news to cover after this show, but because I completely forgot about it, and Jeff Jarrett and Karen Raptor are out. Karen better just stand there and look pretty. She says one thing, and Dixie quickly shut her down, saying, "I'm not talking to you." Dixie Carter comes out to her terrible generic as hell theme music.
It wasn't her music?
It's her music, but it's her new theme music. You know, the one that is not the one that is a country song anymore.
Yes, it has horrible fiddle riffs.
Yeah, it's this stupid, just generic rock you hear all the time. So Jeff is actually nice and helps Dixie to her seat, even though they are feuding.
Southern gentlemen.
Yes. So, surprisingly, everyone there, this is... Actually, no, I'll get to that later. History has written the bad stuff for TNA, Dixie. Jeff hasn't written anything.
The weird thing is both these promos that Dixie and Jeff cut are actually okay.
But, yeah.
It's just that they feel like promos that should be cut building up to a match on a bigger stage. And
he says, your actions caused you, Jeff, to be removed from power. And I'm like, actually, no. It was your screw-ups for Japanese companies and Mexican companies that caused Jeff Jarrett to want to leave. Also, you kind of were pissed at him for marrying Karen Angle because you wanted to be Kurt Angle. You know.
Because, Kurt and Karen weren't divorced or anything.
Yes, but Kurt's still mad. Throws a temper tantrum. Dixie disciplines Jarrett for it. It's not his fault that his first wife died of cancer.
You cold-hearted wench of a woman.
I know. And found love with another woman. Even though it's just coincidence that happens. That shit happens, man.
Yep.
Dixie is focused on the future, which surprisingly got a reprieve from cancellation until February. And I'm like, yeah, Dixie, I know you love this company. Ted Turner also loved WCW a lot. He didn't put himself in storylines. And then Jeff Jarrett explains the whole Eric Young turn and says...
Eric Angle.
Eric Young. I said Eric Young. And he mentions that he's investing in me and GFW even though he hates my guts. Jeff keeps plugging GFW and the contract is signed. Briefcase, JB
and he
says...
punches JB in the face.
After JB says, I'll keep this in a safe position. And he's like, I've always wanted to do this.
13 years.
So EC3 has arrived to the Impact Zone in a regular car driven by Jeff Hardy. And EC3,
I don't know what's weirder, that he arrived in a regular car or that it was driven by Jeff Hardy.
EC3's like, look, get our locker room ready. I have 10 to 12 cat videos to watch.
Oh, geez.
And then after Jeff leaves with stuff, since he also gave him a suit, and he said, get ready, dressed in it, and he said, Jeff's taste in music sucks. And I'm like, I agree. If his theme music songs are any indication, his taste in music sucks. So there was another montage talking about TNA's pay-per-view success, and I was like, what pay-per-view success?
They're barely on pay-per-view anymore.
I know. Mob Ali Shira montage. That goes into Shira taking on Abyss. And Bigfoot's in the crowd. A fucking guy in a Bigfoot suit. And he does the dance with Shira, even though this was a longer segment on the actual TV show, on the actual tapings.
Right.
Seriously.
And Shira wins after interference backfires.
Yes. Biss brings in Janice. Misses with Janice. Shira hits a choke slam. James Storm interferes. It backfires.
Miss always misses with Janice. I think that's the joke of the gimmick.
And it hits the turnbuckle instead. Even though that turnbuckle did nothing to him. So, Sky High, Shira wins.
Abyss hates turnbuckles.
Yes. GFW pep talk backstage. Commentators are wondering why EY is there.
He turned on you last week. I said, you're a Tetris fan, that's short.
Yes, no, he's like, why is he with the team GFW? So EC3 is here with Tyrus, and he introduces Jeff Hardy in the well-dressed Armani suit with EC3's face all over it.
And here comes Rockstar Spud.
No, I would like to add, this suit cost him $27,000. And they keep chanting Jeff Hardy, and he's like, Hardy, and EC3 is like, stop them from chanting that, and EC3's like, Jeff's like, no, and he's like, dude, I will fire you if you do not do that. So he's like, okay, stop it. They don't listen. And he shrugs his shoulders. And then Rockstar Spud comes out.
Do you know who this is? This looks familiar. Does this look familiar to anybody?
You know what? I would wear that suit, Jeff, you have on, if it didn't have that jackass's face on it. And Spud telling EC3 that he shouldn't treat Jeff this way as his personal assistant, even though he won the right to do so. And Spud calls him garbage. EC3 is so insulted by this that he cheap shots him with the mic.
Someone who is garbage is not champion and undefeated for over a year.
I know. So EC3 has Jeff leave with them, but Spud continues the attack. Tyrus gets involved, holds Spud back. EC3's about to punch him, and Spud's like, go ahead, do it. And he's like, no, Jeff, you do it. And Jeff hesitates, and he apologizes and punches Spud.
I'm sorry. I love you.
So they say next is the Knockouts Fatal 4-Way match, but first we get Jeff Jarrett backstage telling Drew Galloway, despite the contract we all signed, it's now 5-on-4 because EY's part of Team GFW.
Wait, when was he a part of Team TNA?
No, that he's part of since he's part of Team GFW, it's now 5-on-4. Okay. It was 4-on-4, and he's now been added. Yes, logic makes TNA head hurt. So let me get this straight. Apparently, Dixie forgot to mention to them that it's 5-on-5 on the contract, or Jeff just pulled this out of his ass, even though it was 4-on-4.
All right.
TNA truly is the land of confusion. So nobody has been able to answer why Tapa gets a title shot, even though she is a part of GFW.
This match is good, but has an awkward finish.
Also, you know it's a case of bad storyline when your commentators are pointing out the holes in the 5-on-4 situation. Like, wait, we don't know it's 5. When did it become 5-on-4? What? They're completely flummoxed by this.
I know what happened to me the last time I flummoxed.
Gale tried a 619, and Tapa says, you don't get to steal Rey Mysterio's move, and snakes eyes her into the barricade.
You remember when you fired me?
Yes. I'm going to hurt you. Kong flies off the apron on the Tapa.
No one in the crowd was harmed during that spot.
Yes. By the way, the match is better than it has any right to be because Tapa in the ring is being carried by 3 good knockouts.
Yeah.
And Gail Kim wins. Pins Brooke.
But yet the match continues after she pins her for a minute or two.
It does?
For some reason. It did.
Not really. It won. I guess they were fighting still. They didn't stop the fighting. But, yeah, Brooke, congrats on making the Brooke the person you hyped up for ending the long reign of Terran, a transitional champion, and not even having the decency to protect her by having her do the job.
That's because they probably want to do another Kong and Gale match for Bound for Glory.
No, that is exactly what they're doing. It's already been signed.
Really?
Yes.
I'll have to look into that.
Yes, it's already been signed. So Lethal Lockdown is next. We get a Team TNA pep talk. Drew's telling him to get ready, and I'm like, you might want to mention that you need a 5th guy.
The Mystery Man.
I know. So EC3 is pissed, and he tells Jeff, you might have had something to do with this. Now I got a world title match against Spud next week. And Jeff's like, I didn't do it.
I didn't do it, boy.
Yeah. And Yes, the world title match will supposedly happen next week, even though, as they say, it might not happen because if GFW wins, so why book it?
Mm-hmm.
Why book it now, even if you don't know there's going to be a show tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of stupid. So anyway, Lethal Lockdown begins, starting out for Team GFW. The man who got punched out by Earl Hebner, Sanjay Dutt.
Poor Sanjay. He'll never live that down.
For Team TNA, the man who's still wrestling a million matches even after having a concussion for a week on these tapings, Davey Richards. Sanjay Dutt is biting Davey's hand, and Josh is an idiot because he says hashtag winner take all is trending, even though it did not.
Hey, Sanjay, kick Davey in the head. You might give him a concussion.
Yes, again. Entering third for Team GFW, the turncoat, Eric Young. Without leg, thankfully.
But with two of his own.
I know. So, entering fourth from Team TNA, Drew Galloway. The
Modesky was in there somewhere.
No, not yet. The captain of TNA could not wait to get his hands on EY for the betrayal. Pope keeps calling Drew Galloway Leonidas. Entering fifth from Team GFW during commercial breaks, Brian Myers.
I don't like this isn't Kurt Hawkins. No, this is the other guy.
No, Brian Myers is Kurt Hawkins.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't like Trevor Lee.
By the way, why would you choose Brian Myers and not PJ Black, who's not in this match? Unless Jeff really is pissed at him for losing the King of the Mountain title.
Probably the reason.
Even though that title means nothing. Entering sixth on Team TNA, Franklin.
The Turtle.
The Turtle. He's turtly enough to be in this match.
The Turtle is no longer Steve Weiner. It is Bobby Lashley.
So, entering the seventh from GFW, Chris Mordetsky. Poor choice of a captain.
Remember when everybody was silent during his intro?
Not really, but...
Neither do I, anyway.
Anyway, Pope is like, whoa, a few more minutes, that cage is going to be down. I'm like, Pope, the cage is already down. It's just the roof that hasn't come down yet.
You idiot.
You fucking moron. Entering eighth for Team TNA, Eddie Edwards. Honestly, should have come out a lot earlier.
Yep.
Entering ninth, the final member of Team GFW, the loophole sneaker, Jeff Jarrett. And entering last from Team TNA, the surprise domestic abuser, Bram.
In his last match in the company.
For a while, yes. No, actually, it's not his last match with the company. Seriously, they have more matches with him. But in all seriousness, if Bram didn't go nuts on his girlfriend, this would be a great pick by TNA and a good push for Bram.
Right.
The roof comes down now, so pinfalls and submissions are allowed. There's a point where Jeff Jarrett is surrounded by Team TNA. He tries to escape with Karen grabbing him through that little hole that cameras go through. But no, Team TNA brings him in and kicks his ass. And Pope keeps calling that damn suplex a souffle.
It's a souffle there, Popo.
Yeah. Drew pins Myers after a future shock onto the trash can. Team TNA wins. GFW is gone. Let's celebrate the end of this shitty invasion. Pros of this match. Good match. Given lots of time. Bram was given a huge ovation as the surprise. Good spots. Cons. Davey starting. PJ Black missing. Edwards should have been out there a lot earlier. And Bram's outside issues. Oh, and Pope's stupid comment about the cage being down in a few minutes when it's already down.
And the storyline itself.
Well, yeah, that's an overall. So TNA did the unusual thing of letting this victory be enjoyed.
And the show is a D+ because the cage match saved it.
I gave it a C+, honestly, but that's the best it can hope for.
And 3 F's and a C.
3 F's, 2 F's, a D+, and a C+.
Let's try to overall that grade.
Yeah. So that was and one more thing, I forgot to mention this news beforehand. Supposedly those contracts they signed were legit. This whole situation was because Dixie Carter wanted Jeff Jarrett's stock in the company.
Yep.
Wanted his percentage of ownership. He gave it if GFW gets some highlight, gets some spotlight, which I don't blame Jeff for doing, although you could have asked for more time than a freaking month.
You know, you could have asked until that pay-per-view you have in October.
You know, it's pretty much big.
Yeah.
But,
TNA logic.
TNA logic.
Anything to sell?
This upcoming month, this month I have the induction of next week of, Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood. So I have the, nominees for the next induction, which will be, October will be Roddy Piper Memorial Month. 9 movies.
Live.
What?
They Live.
No, it's not nominated. That's a good movie.
Huh.
I have to nominate bad movies. So here they are, and 9 instead of the usual 10. I do. Hell Comes to Frogtown. Mm-hmm. Roddy Piper is the only man with any sperm left, so of course they put a bomb on his junk so they can force him to save women from mutant frog people. Sounds a bit like cutting your nose off to spite your face. Roddy Piper, Immortal Kombat. Roddy Piper teams up with Sonny Chiba to take on Immortal Ninjas. Led by Malibu from American Gladiators. Oh, you had me until you mentioned Malibu as the lead bad guy. Sci-Fighters. Piper takes on a man with an alien virus. Sounds good until you realize that bad guy is Billy Drago, and Billy Drago starring in anything normally ends badly.
Yep.
Legion, the final exorcism. Roddy Piper is in an exorcism ripoff. Blame the fact that his daughter is the female lead.
Yeah.
Yes, Ariel Teal Toombs is the person that has to be exorcised.
Mm-hmm.
And her father in the film, her character father in the film is played by Piper, who's a priest. Ghosts of Goldfield. Not even Roddy Piper can save this film from the awfulness of Kellen Lutz. The mystical adventures of Billy Owens. This movie's plot was lost in the river! Thanks, Roddy Piper, for a great line in an otherwise poorly acted Harry Potter ripoff. The Portal. Phantom Diseases with Roddy Piper. Sounds fun, right? Well, Michael Madsen is in it, and you know he is bringing his not giving a shit performance. Alien Opponent. Roddy Piper is in another film that is awesomely bad in humans versus one alien in an all-out gauntlet. And finally, Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies. Spoiler, Piper is the best actor here of the wrestlers, obviously.
Who are the wrestlers?
Besides Piper, Matt Hardy, Shane Douglas, Kurt Angle, Jim Duggan.
2 out of 4 of those aren't bad, but I'm imagining the acting isn't.
Kurt Angle is a terrible actor.
Shane Douglas got off a shift at Olive Garden to film this movie. Or is that credible?
Well, yeah, he got past his shift at Target, yeah. No, credible is working at Olive Garden.
Yes. These breadsticks just aren't the coolest, they just aren't the best, they're just incredible.
Yes. So yes, that is all for the show. Miley, we are going for a walk.
All right, we shall talk to you next week.
Bye.
Or probably Wednesday night.